We were already stoked here at the Angry Chicken when yesterday, Team 5 announced that nerfs are coming to Hearthstone this Wednesday and focused extremely heavily, almost laser focused, on the rogue class.
I feel like almost all of these were like things we talked about.
Yep.
Literally on the show where we talked about nerfs that we'd like to see.
Yeah.
Like these exact cards.
We weren't alone. This was...
No, it's not like we were the only. Yeah, I'm not saying we were special, out of the millions of people playing Hearthstone. We were the only ones who cracked the code that Rogue was too powerful. But it was like these were the cards. Like I was like, yeah, I hope they do this and this and this. And I'm like, holy crap, they did this and this and this. What?
Yep.
Also, Garrett, your Elysiana graphics backwards.
Oh, is it?
It went from 8 to 9.
So here's how today went. I'm in Photoshop working on this, and then 18 card buffs got announced. I started working a little faster. Okay, so
it's totally fine. I just want to clarify for anyone watching the video, Elysiana.
Yeah, other way around. But let's start with Evil Miscreant. Nothing is changing for Evil Miscreant except for the Miscreant's health, going from 5 health down to 4 health.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the suggestions that I in fact made was because I think the Miscreant is like what it does, giving you the lackeys. That's the thing, right? The fact that it also has this disgusting body that's stronger than. Well, that sounded weird. The fact that it has this disgustingly powerful. Look at that Miscreant.
Don't you shame Evil Miscreant, okay? That's just what Kobolds look like. The Miscreant is going to the gym every day.
As far as Kobolds go, he's disgusting. Anyway, no, but it's like the fact that it could always stick around, beyond where it should, and just poke away at like totems and 1/1s and tokens and blah blah blah. It was just like that's dumb. It already gave you 2 lackeys, which are really freaking good. Why?
It's synergized well too, right? If it sticks around, you could potentially evolve it or give it more attacks. So,
well, dude, playing it on like turn whatever 5, 6, 7, and immediately giving it +1 and rush, like it even kills something and sticks around. Like, it's crazy. So this is I think a solid change. I could have even seen it be a 1/3 and it would have been fine. But I think I see where they're going with these changes, where they're like, we're tweaking, we're not smashing this button.
Had one of these other 2 rogue changes not happened, I would have been like, Miscreant should be a 1/3. This isn't a big enough change, but other cards are getting kicked in the teeth. Mm-hmm. So I think this is fine. This is okay. Good. I'm a fan of the change. The next change is Raiding Party, a card I mentioned last week. I think all 3 of us mentioned it. But it's being nerfed. It's going from 3 mana up to 4 mana to draw your 2 pirates and your waggle pick.
This card kind of got double nerfed, by the way, because of the next prep that we haven't talked about yet. But
which was needed, I think.
Sure.
If they weren't going to change Dread Corsair, then both of these in tandem had to happen.
This allows Waggle Pick and Dread Corsair and Captain Greenskin and all that stuff to just be fine again, right? Yeah. Whereas before they were gross and stupid and just completely ridiculous, and now it's like, okay, all those cards are back to being normal because we took the card that was enabling them to be disgusting and we've made it now maybe a card you don't even play. I'm not sure actually because of the prep nerf if this card goes in to the rogue decks anymore or if we go a different direction with rogue.
Yeah.
Like, you mean prep or raiding party, you're not sure?
What's that?
You mean prep or raiding party, you're not sure?
Probably you still play prep just because of all the other spells. Yeah, but I'm thinking raiding party you might not play anymore. You might like rogue might go down the Heist Baron Togwaggle road, not the Leroy Jenkins just I kill you road. Right? They might become more of a value style deck with less pirates.
Right. So prep, since we have mentioned it for the audio listeners, the next spell you cast this turn now costs 2 less, down from 3. So you're only getting a 2 mana discount by casting Preparation versus the 3 mana discount that we have had since the dawn of Hearthstone time.
It's an innervate for spells that can only be like that doesn't stack, right? So like you used to be able to like double innervate out crazy stuff, right? You can essentially innervate out 1 spell, which means that you'll still get like free saps, free eviscerates, all that kind of stuff, but you will no longer get like free fan, free raiding party. You could still use it to play Myra's Unstable for now 3 instead of 2. it's still a good card, and I still think you play it because mana cheating is one of the most powerful things you can do in Hearthstone. It's just now like brings all that other stuff into line. So
yeah,
I've heard some people say that they didn't like this because they would rather just go get Hall of Fame. But my whole argument against that was it's a problem in Wild too. Like, why just shove it into Wild like we did with Baku and Gen? Why not just fix it and then it can still be a card forever? It's fine. I don't know.
I like the prep change. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
I don't think I would have been unhappy if it went to the Hall of Fame, but I also like this change too, and it's sticking around because it is a bit of a backbone. Like if we're not, there's a certain point where I feel like the line has to be drawn. We're not with this. Did not come the announcement that classic and basic cards are getting completely changed and they're going to redo the whole set and whatnot. So if that's going to be the case, certain cards do need to stick around, and I think prep is one of them. But
well, yeah, if we're never going to rotate classic and basic cards, what we need to do is bring the ones that are ridiculous in line so that when new cards come out, they actually go into decks. It's like if forever and ever and ever prep is in every single rogue deck, forever and ever and ever, then that's a problem, right? But if we can bring the OP cards in line and then new cards actually get to go into decks, then I guess I'll be okay with the whole classic never going away thing. But like, if always prep is just this card that's so crazy good that no matter what cards they put out in Rogue, you just know that you're throwing preps in your deck, right? Like we've seen mages that don't run Fireball. We've seen mages that don't run Frostbolt. Those cards are really freaking good, but like they're actually in line with stuff where you build archetypes that then don't need that thing anymore. But you can't, and also they mentioned it in the thing. It opens up design space where we can make like they made Raiding Party in a world where prep was making it free, and that was a problem. And you know, I'm sure they learned a little bit of a lesson there. And now they can actually make a card like Raiding Party in the next set, and it wouldn't be instantly broken. Yeah.
Although seeing as Raiding Party's cost also went up in addition to a prep nerf, clearly wasn't the only issue. But I just find this hilarious because it's kind of like, well, the price of gas went up. Also, your car is magically less efficient now. It's less miles per gallon. Or kilometers.
Yeah, it's like I think all three of these changes work really well together. They make Rogue now have to look at the build, and I think we're going to see variety in the Rogue class, whereas we weren't really before. I know, I said, I just tried out the Rogue shell and put in whatever, but the Rogue shell was the Rogue shell, and like every single version of it played that exact same thing. Now we can actually mess around and try different stuff, right? So
yeah, I hope so, because it feels like we've been like bouncing back and forth between Miracle and Tempo forever now, with maybe a little pirate rogue thrown in there.
And the other thing that was mentioned by a lot of people is that Warrior was so popular because it like beat Rogue. Now with Rogue maybe not being so meta defining, maybe Warrior becomes less popular. And maybe all these other archetypes suddenly open up, and we get a much more diverse meta, which the meta was not undiverse or whatever. There was a lot going on, but like there was definitely this top two, right? They were just kind of like holding everybody else down a little bit. And if we can open up the space underneath and everybody can like rise up and meet, and and there's like a middle ground here, like there will definitely always still be a number one deck, but now I think there's room. This maybe makes the specialist format a lot more interesting too. So
yeah, I've been watching a little bit of it, which I have to say I like that it's up on YouTube as matchups, so I can just be like, "Ooh, you look interesting. You look interesting. You look interesting." But overall, I'm not loving it as much. It's a little already feels pretty stale, unless you go watch Kalenta versus Orange, and I won't spoil that. Or not Kalenta, Hunter Race. If you haven't heard us rave about Away, we like them not just because they're just really high quality luggage. It's surprisingly lightweight for how rugged it is, and it just glides like it's on freaking air. I love all of that. But both of their carry-ons, the carry-on and the bigger carry-on, have internal batteries for charging. So if you're burning your devices dead because you're playing, the Dalaran heist so much, cool. Your luggage that you're traveling with can now charge your phone for you, can now charge your tablet for you.
Not to mention you can take it out, which is something that Dills blew my mind with the last time we did this read. Is that you don't have to plug.
You didn't know that?
wall. No.
What? What? Okay, yeah, because
someone didn't read their instructions when they got there.
No, someone definitely did not.
They also have TSA approved combination lock and interior pressure system, so you can push the air out and fit even more stuff in your bag. Free shipping within the 48 lower states, 100-day return policy, and a lifetime warranty. On top of all this, you can get $20 off a suitcase when you go to awaytravel.com/TAC20 and use the promo code TAC20 during checkout. We thank them for their support. We thank you for using that URL and code. Let's thank our other sponsor for today's episode, Harry's. It's been sponsoring our show for what seems like ever now, because if I'm not mistaken, Harry's was our first ever sponsor and is still sponsoring the show. So you should go to harrys.com/TAC right now. If for no other reason, then Harry's is the reason you don't have to look at my disgusting neck beard if you ever watch the video version of the Angry Chicken. And that's
mine too.
Oh, I just assumed it was because you're blonde. I can't see it.
Oh no, it's all Harry's.
I love their shave gel. I really like the way it smells. I smell good after it. It's just super smooth, not irritating. And for the summer months, I really like that trimmer blade. You can redeem a trial set by going to harrys.com/TAC. It's a $13 value. Comes with everything you need for a close, comfortable shave. You get their weighted ergonomic handle, a 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip, and that trimmer blade we were just talking about. Their rich, lathering shave gel. You also get a travel blade cover, so you can take it with you. Also, Away was another sponsor today. This all just works together. Throw it in your Away luggage. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyways, go check them out. Listeners of the Angry Chicken, you can redeem your trial set over at harrys.com/TAC. Again, that's harrys.com/TAC to redeem your offer and let them know Tax sent you to help support the show. We thank them for their support. We thank you all for listening. Anyways, we're done with Rogue. So Miscreant, Raiding Party, Preparation, all nerfed. One more card left, and since we're talking about Specialists, makes sense that this is the last one we're going to talk about, which is Archivist Elysiana. I switched the arrow for you video watchers. I switched it.
So fancy.
Yeah, just pointed it the other direction. So Elysiana is going from 8 mana up to 9 mana. Same health, same attack, same battle cry. Discover your 5 cards. Replace your deck with 2 copies of each. Working the same way.
The idea here is that you can't then bounce it with Baleful Banker or Youthful Brewmaster and play it over and over again in a match. And yes. I know a lot of people have been bringing up their super smart hot take of, but what if I'm on the coin? That means the coin guy is going to have the advantage. And I'm like, I'm not even putting a 9 mana card in my deck on the basis that 50% of my games I will have the coin. That means the other 50% I don't have it, so now I have a useless card in my deck? No, it's just not happening. Like, this isn't going to happen, guys. Don't worry.
Well, listen.
People are just not going to play Elysiana and the Baleful. They'll just either play the Elysiana or they won't. That's what's.
I think it'll still see play. Like, I
think it will too. It's just not going to. The bouncers are gone. Like, you won't put that card in your deck just because of the 50% of the time you'll get the coin and also be up against another Elysiana warrior who's not got the coin. Like, that's just. I'm sorry, you're not.
Well, the thing is though, like, there's a lot of potentially good targets though. Baleful Banker specifically for shuffling more cards in your deck doesn't necessarily have to hit Elysiana in order to get value. So Brewmasters, I agree, probably gone, but Bankers, I think, will probably still see play because there is that coin flip of you potentially being able to get like the dream combo, which is like Elysiana, coin, Banker, but Banker has a lot more use as well. So I think it'll still be included, possibly in secondary and tertiary decks, but I do think that this will still see play.
Yeah, I mean, maybe only specialist mode, but I am going to put my money on Banker is now just gone from the deck, and it's definitely not in a ladder version of the deck. Also, even in that dream scenario you just presented, that means you have to hold the coin all the way until turn 10 for this one specific matchup where you actually got lucky in coin flip to have the coin. Like, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Well, that's why secondary, tertiary.
Honestly, like with the Rogue nerfs too, that the warrior mirror match just isn't going to be a thing anymore in specialists. So it's not like people are going to be building their strategies around this exact thing, right? Or I can beat the rogue and then I have to be able to beat the other guy who's trying to beat the rogue.
Yeah.
There's going to be like mages. There's going to be, all sorts of other.
I think mages and hunters is going to be the direction that this goes. The specialist goes. I think it's going to be mages and hunters. So,
yeah, I'm going to be that lousy jerk that doesn't pick a side and say it's really. I see Elysiana as kind of difficult to judge because of how up in the air this nerf to Rogue, I think, kind of makes everything else. But
well, I think if you're playing Control Warrior, you're still playing Elysiana, or you're playing Mechathune, which might also be the direction that they go in, right? You're still going to have some sort of a win condition that is either like Mechathune and win that way, or
I don't know if I like that better. I don't like Mechathune. I really hate losing to Mechathune.
I mean, I'd rather lose to Mechathune than lose to you getting 20 more cards in your deck, and I just have to like watch you do that.
I mean, if it's predicated on the fact that you're running a deck that you probably lost a lot more times with because you're hoping to get the coin, I'm like, okay, I got unlucky, but you're probably not climbing as fast as I am.
Well, the other thing too about Mechathune is Mechathune has legit like 200 IQ play rounds, which are really satisfying when you can do them, right? Like you can exhaust their so. One of the ways that Warrior does the Mechathune is they discount it and then they shield slam their own Mechathune. So if you can peel all their armor, they can't shield slam their own Mechathune, and then you can just maybe never play a minion that they can suicide their Mechathune into, right? Like there's cool stuff you can do. But Elysiana, you're just like, I just watch you draft another deck, and then I just am at the mercy of whatever Elysiana gave you. Like I would rather be able to play around stuff than not. So like Mechathune thing. Personally.
Yeah. That's why I didn't enjoy watching particularly a lot of the NA matches, because they were a ton of Warrior mirrors. And it just seemed like the winning player was very much decided on either the cards that they got from Elysiana or where the bombs happened to land in the deck. Yeah. And it's just like,
if they were able to Elysiana away the bombs too, right? Like
that exactly. Yeah. So that, like, I don't know, just watching the games, I was just like, oh, I don't necessarily feel like the better player won. And that's just like, doesn't feel good.
Sure. But I actually would love to see like Purple break these matchups down, because Purple was talking on his stream the other day about how in Control Warrior mirror matches, he has like a 90% win rate. So he's like, I think everybody thinks that it's complete RNG fiesta because that all they see is the very end when it kind of becomes that. Mm-hmm. But what they don't see is like that all these plays that didn't seem to matter all did matter, but you didn't notice that they mattered because both players were at like 50 health. But like, it's just who kind of put themselves in the better position at the end actually did win more often. It's so hard to actually break that down. And as a viewer, it makes no sense. The casters aren't breaking it down that way.
Yeah.
They're like just memeing each other because they don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're right. Like, it doesn't make for like interesting like gameplay to watch. But I think if we had somebody like analyzing it in the way that Purple seems to analyze it while he's playing these matchups, it might be really insane and just like masterful performances by one or the other. Mm-hmm. But it's just funny because it just looks like, it looks like both teams didn't really do anything, and then at the end, they had a shootout or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
The ball bounced around funny for one guy and it didn't for the other. That's what it looks like anyway. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling underneath there's a lot of strategy going on. It's just, I don't know, doesn't translate.
Overall, I'm kind of looking at this like if this shifts like our hesitation and our issues with the game to esports and not with our game at home, I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, because
I'm definitely talking about like specialist esport grandmaster stuff. Like,
I didn't think you weren't. You hadn't really talked about that yet. But to me, a lot of my concerns with this is more on the esports side of things. I'm like, whatever. I don't play competitively. Like, yeah, it stings because I'd like to watch Hearthstone, but I do think that this is just a net positive for our games at home. So I
all of these changes are great. They could have made a few more. I don't mind that they didn't, but they made good ones that they did. So
really, really shocked that they didn't change Dr. Boom. Like, really shocked.
Yeah, I think that they might be happy with where Dr. Boom is. I know it's like the best card in that deck, but
I don't know. With the buffs,
when it's played on curve, it sucks.
With the buffs, I feel like maybe they didn't want to mess with them because they've got some mech buffs coming to warrior mechs. And
that's true. Yeah. When we get to the buffs, they clearly
they buffed mechs.
So like thing in their mind. Right?
Granted, mechs that weren't seeing play, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
But I could also see. I think they're trying to give like the other decks a chance to now beat this Control Warrior, whereas before it was just like Control Warrior versus Control Warrior. So. Yeah, there's people that talked about some other things like Conjurer's Calling costs 4. Some others, but I think they're trying to just open up the meta, right? Not literally just buff all the cards that are singularly problematic. This is like a meta changing nerf more than just this card needs to get nerfed, this card needs to get nerfed. They like very specifically targeted Rogue.
Yeah. Yeah. We mentioned Hunter and Mage multiple times here as probably our favorites for being the popular climbing picks after these changes. Stargazer in our patron Discord said that they wondered if Nomi Priest is going to die as a result of these nerfs because it does struggle if against Hunter and Mage. And if they rise in prominence, then Nomi Priest is going to have a bad time.
Yeah. Nomi Priest had a bad time anyway.
Yeah.
I was looking at all its win rates and like everything is just around 50 or slightly under.
It's a unique deck.
It's a hard deck to play though too. It's like,
it is really hard.
It's got the topsy-turvy type effect going on, I think, where your average player may have a little bit of a problem guiding that deck.
So. Yeah.